Charlevoix?
Yes.
What makes
Until
it
I
special?
retired.
Right. What makes Charlevoix special for you?
Well, it's just a nice town. People were nice, and I had a interesting job in the hospital. I worked for Dr. Saltonstall in his office for 3 years. And then I had Joe. After 15 years of marriage, I finally had a child. And so I took care of him, and then I started working again in the hospital.
You said you liked it until you retired. What changed when you retired?
Well, when I retired, we were ready. My husband had already retired, of course, and he had income from our service, and so we went south for the winters. We came back up here, of course, in the summer. He loved to garden.
How big is your farm? How many acres?
It's 250 acres now.
And now your son is there?
Yes, but he's not farming.
Right.
We just live there. We've turned the farm over to conservative.
Conservancy?
Yeah.
Conservancy.
But we still have it farmed by a neighbor. And we just kept an area where our house is and a little garden space and stuff.
Well, that's a really nice thing to do, though, because it preserves the open space and
Yeah, and that's
rural feel.
that's what young Joe wanted to do, so he doesn't want to get crowded out there.
So do you go to Florida in the winter anymore or not?
Well, I did until just this year. I
Just
came
this-
back.
Okay.
In September, I came back.
Okay.
And I intended to return to Florida because I still have my place down there, but I hardly survived the trip. I thought I better just stay here. So my sister and I drove up from Florida, and she believes in doing it in a day and a half.
There are times when you have to change that.
And I could hardly walk when I got out of the car, so I thought, that's it, I can't do that. And she wouldn't fly, she didn't like to fly. So,
It's too bad you couldn't talk her into doing it in a week, isn't it?
yeah, I know.
Jeez.
But see, we thought we would be staying probably a month, and she was always hurried to get back for some reason. Of course, she used to work at Walmart's, but she's 82 and she's not working. She was stopped at 81.
Wow. Amazing.
So what do you have to share with us? What's your words of wisdom for us?
Well, I think it's a good thing for anyone to join the service and learn what this is all about. It's quite an education for anybody, and it's something that I never will forget and appreciate, because I got to see things that I never would have seen, and at the same time I was helping our country.
Have you been active in the VFW or anything like that?
I joined a ladies' auxiliary of the VFW. At the time, I didn't want to join the VFW as an officer because there's all a bunch of old men in there. Now, I would have been the only woman, and that's no fun. So I joined the auxiliary. But I never did join the Legion. My husband belonged to both the VFW and the Legion, and my son is commander of the Legion now. And his wife was also in the service. They met in Berlin. She was American, but they met in Berlin where they were serving and were married there. I think it's a good experience for anyone, but of course I wasn't in the front lines. Makes you have different thoughts about things.